Mr. Speaker, the government has the wrong target when it comes to public safety. They're banning hundreds, in fact, we don't know exactly how many because their officials can't tell us, of lawful, previously legal hunting rifles and shotguns that are used by First Nations, by farmers, and by rural people right across the country. Meanwhile, last week, a man who was convicted of second-degree murder had been released early and is now rearrested for 51 counts of trafficking firearms. Why won't they go after this criminal and others like him instead of targeting Grandpa Joe's hunting rifle in Cape Breton?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, Canadians are united around the need to see our communities safer, and most Canadians understand that that means eliminating the guns that are most dangerous, those guns that are designed to kill the largest number of people in the shortest amount of time. That's why 2 years ago we moved forward with a ban on assault-style weapons, but we also know that we need to ensure that that ban stays in place, and that's why we're moving forward with a definition to define assault-style weapons. We will continue to consult with Canadians and all parliamentarians to ensure that we're capturing the right weapons, but we will, Mr. Speaker, keep Canadians safe.
Leader of the Opposition.
Only he's not capturing the right weapons, according to his very own Liberal MP for the Yukon, who said this is really upsetting. Many Yukoners regularly hunt either as a food source or for recreational aspects of hunting. I'm not happy with this bill. Other Liberal MPs have said likewise, and the Prime Minister's own public servants have testified that hunting rifles will be banned under his proposed amendment. Now that he's been caught with his real agenda, which is to go after hunters and farmers rather than gun smugglers and gangsters, will he reverse himself and promise never again to go after our hunters in this country?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
While Conservative politicians continue to fearmonger and share disinformation, we're doing the work necessary to keep Canadians safe. We will continue to consult on the list because, yes, we are not interested in going after guns that are typically used for hunting and protecting farms. We're going to continue to make sure that we're banning the most dangerous weapons that were designed to kill people in the shortest amount of time. That is something, unfortunately, the Conservatives want to make legal assault-style weapons again, Mr. Speaker, and that's why they're in the pockets of the gun lobby, and that's why we're standing strong.
Honourable.
Mr. Speaker, a young man was caught with a prohibited weapon loaded with 72 rounds of ammunition that was spared jail time thanks to a Liberal law supported by the Bloc and the NDP. There is no longer a minimal sentence for this type of crime in Canada. On the one hand, we let criminals roam free, and on the other hand, the government wants to penalize honest gun owners with Bill C-21, a double standard. Could the Liberals go after the real criminals and leave the hunters alone? The Honourable Minister of Justice. Mr. Speaker, the security of our communities is obviously a priority. We've always said that serious crimes will have serious consequences, but we also know that our system, it needs reform. With C5, we've left aside unnecessarily severe policies, particularly those who penalize blacks and marginalized peoples. The old system wasn't working. Mr. Speaker, we're proud of the adoption of C5 and on the effects it will have on Canadians.
In St. Paul.
Mr. Speaker, in Quebec, a man who was convicted of drug trafficking and possession of illegal weapons avoided prison time thanks to the Liberals' new law abolishing minimum sentences for certain gun crimes. On the one hand, we have the Liberals letting dangerous criminals run free, and on the other hand, we have the Prime Minister going after hunters and farmers. When will the Prime Minister stop attacking hunters and farmers and deal with the real problem of criminals smuggling drugs and guns? When, Mr. Speaker? The Honourable Minister of Justice. Mr. Speaker, we all want a society that is safer, where serious crimes have serious consequences. But, Mr. Speaker, we also have a duty to follow the evidence and abandon policies that are failures, that didn't work. And that's exactly what we've done with C5. We are going to put the resources where they need to be to ensure that our society is safer. Honourable member for Kildonan.
Have a situation where there is a serious criminal who is heavily armed, trafficking drugs, doing it all illegally, and it's because of these Liberals and their soft on crime policies that this man, instead of going to prison, can now serve his sentence from the comfort of his home, Mr. Speaker. That is a serious crime, but no serious time under this Liberal government. So why are they going soft on criminals on one side, letting this guy serve house arrest from the comforts of his home, but attacking honest, trained, tested, and law-abiding hunters and farmers, Mr. Speaker? Why are they doing that? Why are their priorities so misplaced, Mr. Speaker?
The Honourable Minister of Justice.
Mr. Speaker, I would remind the honourable member and honourable members and Canadians across Canada, Mr. Speaker, that conditional sentence orders are only available where there is no threat to public security. And the person, Mr. Speaker, who is best placed to make that determination, Mr. Speaker, according to the evidence, is the sentencing judge, who has all of the information in front of the bench and makes that determination, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we are proud to follow policies that work and abandon policies that don't.
The Honourable Member for Brantford-Brant.
Mr. Speaker, once again, criminals are thanking this Liberal government for their soft-on-crime agenda. This week, a Montreal criminal was convicted of drug trafficking and possession of loaded illegal weapons. Instead of a mandatory minimum sentence in prison, he is serving a sentence in the comfort of his own home. Wow. This government is failing Canadians. Crime is skyrocketing, and instead of dealing with the problem, they want to ban hunting rifles. When will this government stop targeting law-abiding hunters and finally go after the dangerous criminals?
The Honourable Minister for Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, and I assure my colleague we are doing precisely that, including with Bill C-21, which will raise maximum sentence against hardened gun traffickers, which will give police additional powers to bust up those networks which would terrorize our communities. We also introduced $450 million over the last 2 years for the CBSA to stop illegal gun smuggling at the border. Mr. Speaker, what did the Conservatives do? They voted against. Mr. Speaker, they've got to walk the talk on this. The Conservatives should reverse their position, and they should support Bill C-21 and all the support we're offering law enforcement on the front lines. Thank you.